Uh,
What's the matter? What are you doing?
I'm getting ready for the next release.
And this is how you get ready?
Do you know how many features and bugs we have to get into it? I'm not sure we're going to be able to make the release in time.
Have you thought about cutting back?
No way. Have you spoken to the customer recently?
I think we're going to need to cover how to cut back in today's build tip. Welcome to Build, brought to you by Pivotal Tracker. I'm your host, Purnima Vijay Shankar, and today I've got a new build tip for you. I'm joined by Jay Hum, who is a product manager at Pivotal. Now, Jay, we run into this issue over and over again where we commit to a lot of features, a lot of bugs, because we want to meet business goals and we want to make our customers happy. But we can't cram it all in. And I know time and time again we tell people to pare back, but they don't, right? So let's start by talking about why people don't pare back.
Right. So before I answer that question, I think it's important to bring out that software development is always notoriously difficult, and estimating the amount of effort that goes into any type of release, feature, or functionality is even more difficult, right? So for example, if a developer comes to me and says, oh, this is going to take 2 days, then I multiply that 2 and then add 2 days to it. So then it's actually going to take 6 days instead of 2 days.
So why is it even important to pare down a release?
So customers always ask for a lot of features and functionality, and then even the development teams, the product manager, the designers, and developers, they always have their own ideas of what should go into a release or feature. But at the end of the day, until that product is out in the market, you're actually never going to know what features or functionality the customers are actually going to use. There's lots of evidence out there that when you're interviewing customers, they will say one thing, but you go look at the analytics and they're actually doing something else, right? So the danger in creating this big release that has tons of features and functionality is that you can sort of create something that's sort of an analysis paralysis in terms of what the user is experiencing, right? So they get a new release and there's so many new features and functionality, they don't know what to do. So what they end up doing is not doing anything and just going back to what they were doing originally. The second part is that you always want to sort of relate it back to what business goals or metrics that you are trying to achieve, right? Again, you want to focus on sort of the top priority tasks or features that will drive the most business value or move a KPI, whether that is to increase engagement or move people further down the funnel.
What happens if we commit to everything?
Well, in Ronan's case, where he's all stressed out and it's a big release, I mean, I've heard this story before, and essentially the short answer is disaster.
Yeah.
Right? But let me unpack that a little bit. So first of all, you've already seen that Ronan is very stressed, right? So if you don't pare down the release, you are effectively going to burn out the team. Mm-hmm. Now, not just the developers, but the product manager, the stakeholders even, the quality engineers, and the designers.
Is there anyone besides the team you're going to upset?
Yeah, obviously you're going to upset the customer. So generally when the team is overstressed or burnt out and really pushing hard and cranking through the night, effectively they're not going to write good quality code, and they're going to include technical debt, and it's going to be messy, and they're going to cut corners, right? So that means that the product that eventually is going to be shipped is going to be subpar. It's not going to be up to the expectations of the client or customer. And again, they're just going to get turned off and very disappointed.
I know there's been a lot of conversation and debate on how to pare down features, what bugs to include or not include. Do you have a simpler solution you can share with the audience?
Yeah, my go-to solution is a 2x2 matrix that works very well in helping us prioritize which features should we go into a release and which features should fall out. So it's a 2x2 that allows us to rank any features in terms of value to the customer, mm-hmm. as well as complexity to implement. And it's great because it actually gives you information on 4 different things. So it'll give you information on which of the features you should actually be doing or working on, as well as which would we call sort of the quick wins that you can do very quickly and looks like you're making good progress. It'll show you which features that you should ignore because they don't have any value or they're too complex, and other ones that you should debate around in terms of product strategy and roadmap.
Now, Jay and I want to know, do you guys have a go-to method for paring down features at your company? Let us know in the comments below. That's it for today's Build tip. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel to receive more episodes of Build and other great tips like today's. And special thanks to our sponsor, Pivotal Tracker, for their help in producing this episode. Ciao for now.